it's looking like it's time, y'all. Jayson Tatum will be returning back with the Boston Celtics either tonight or in the next couple games, but I think we've come to the conclusion that it most likely will be tonight, which is very exciting for Boston Celtics fans, for NBA fans, for basketball fans more generally, who have watched Jayson Tatum over the course of his career, the competitor that he is, the talent that he is, the work ethic and just stand-up dude that he is. You want to see guys like Jayson Tatum succeed, so it's awesome to see that he's made a full recovery and he's gearing up and ready to compete again, right? And if you're a fan of basketball, regardless of where you stand and what teams you like, you want to see the best players compete. You want to see the best teams compete. And the NBA is better when Jayson Tatum is on the court. So for all those reasons, just got to tip your hat to Jayson Tatum and the work that he's done to get back on the court. Now, with that being said, there have been a lot of opinions out there in regards to whether he should return, whether he should sit out the remainder of the season. I would say in terms of what opinion is more prominent at the moment, it tends to be the more timid one, the one that says that he should sit out, should play it safe, et cetera, et cetera. And I got to be honest with you guys, I do not vibe with that thought process. And one reason being, we are not in the medical rooms with him. We haven't seen the MRIs. We haven't seen all the work that's been done. All the work that we've seen has been nothing but positive. So if you're just going to base it solely off what we've seen, the preparation that he's put in, the work he's put in, the PT he's put in, the consistency, all that sort of stuff, then I think you got to side with the side that says, I think he should be coming back, right? If he feels like he's ready, then all you can do is commend him for that and wish him the best as he comes back. And another reason why I don't like this fearful mentality is because from a strength and conditioning perspective, right? How do I want to put this? There's only so much you can do off the court. And don't get me wrong, there's a profound amount of work you can do off the court to get yourself ready to go, right? But there's also work that needs to be done on the court in live game settings to fully bridge the gap. Now, his Achilles is completely healed, right? That's not what I'm saying. His Achilles is completely healed. I would imagine through all the PT he's done, the way his calf has been strengthened, the way those ligaments and tendons in that foot calf region, soleus region, have all probably been strengthened better than what they were, pre-injury, right? Typically, when you're talking about coming off large injuries like this one, think of Derrick Rose, right? They used to say that he was jumping even higher after that ACL injury just off the amount of PT and work that they were doing specifically on that general area. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's even stronger to a certain degree than he was when he first had this injury. But with all that being said, there's a certain amount of work that needs to be done on the court, both mentally and physically. You have to learn to trust yourself again. Your body has to adapt to that stimulus again, and there's nothing that can simulate live game reps, right? Like to the magnitude of what live game reps are, right? Because the adrenaline, because of the high intensity, because of the stakes, you just can't simulate it, regardless of how much 5-on-5 pickup you play. So I'm saying all that to say, even if you don't believe the Boston Celtics have a shot in heck in winning the NBA championship this year, and you think, bringing JT back to try and win just doesn't make sense to you because you don't think even with JT they can win, right? Regardless of that, this season specifically, right? They can't win this season. Regardless of that, by him coming back this season, it's giving him a leg up for next season, right? And that's something that's not really being spoken about, right? Because the reality is he is going to have to play through the mental hurdles that come with a dramatic injury no matter what. No matter if he sits out the rest of the season and doesn't come back till next season, regardless of how much PT he does over the course of the offseason, that's not going to be enough for him not to have those doubts in his head still, right? It's just the reality of how injuries work. I don't think anybody ever has had an injury like an Achilles tear, let's say a patellar tendon tear, let's say an ACL tear, and not question themselves, question their confidence. It's the reality of being an athlete and a high-level athlete at that, right? You have doubts. So mentally, him getting on the court sooner rather than later is going to be better for his future. I have no doubts about that. And piggybacking off of that, physically, it's also the same thing because now physically he can prepare himself in these games, right, he can play himself back into form by growing his confidence, by growing his mental, and also by trusting his body again. I think that's the biggest thing, trusting his body again, so that by the time next season comes, 20 games might not be enough, plus the playoffs, to fully get past that, but it's the start, right? And there's less of a learning curve and less of an ingratiating himself back into the NBA curve next season if you think they don't have any shot this season. So regardless of how you slice it, I think Jayson Tatum is making the right decision in coming back, especially if he feels confident in where he's at, the medical staff feels confident in where they're at. And, again, you think about it from an investment perspective on the way the Boston Celtics look at their players. You're not throwing a player out there if you're not fully certain that they physically are ready and capable. So I think all of the fear-mongering is just, again, it's coming from a place of wanting the best for Jayson Tatum because he's a great player, and if you appreciate the game of basketball, you want to see a guy like that compete. I think it's coming from a place of love the game, right? But it's also coming from a place of fear, and I don't think the way people are thinking of it is in the best interest of Jayson Tatum if he indeed is ready to play in full form, has hit all the protocols when it comes to the recovery process and the ramping up process to get him back on the court. I think this is a win for the Celtics. I think this is a win for Jayson Tatum. I think this is a win for them now and for their future. Honestly, I think this is more of a win for their future than it is for now, right? Because they do in the immediate, in the more immediate future, they're going to have to figure out things, how to play him back into the lineup and stuff. And, it's all like anytime a new player gets added to your team, even though he's not a new player, right? Like things change the way you play. You get comfortable doing one thing, you may have to change a little bit. And that's okay, right? They'll work it out. They're a great team. But say all that to say, I think it's just a positive always around. And I just don't think people necessarily look at it from that perspective. They're so fearful of the injury that happened, right? You don't always think of the progression of an athlete coming back from an injury and how playing actually helps. Right? Like playing actually helps both mentally and physically get you back to a place where you're confident in your body, you're trusting your body. And regardless, again, of if he does it now or later, you have to go through that. And the only way to go through that is actually on the court with live reps, not simulated reps, not with a G League team, right? Not with no stakes, but with actual stakes on the line, knowing that you can make this play, knowing that you can knock down that shot still, beat your guy off the dribble still in a real game setting with real defense being played and schemed against you, right? That's going to be what builds his confidence the most and gets him back to being the Jayson Tatum that we know and love as a player. So just my thoughts. Just wanted put my 2 cents in there in regards to Jayson Tatum. Let me know what you guys think. Peace.